Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about something most people fear. Success not for ourselves, but for the reactions it might provoke in others. There's an old saying, some people will be happy for you, and some will hate you for your success. And here's the truth. Your success is not meant to make them comfortable. It's meant to honor your journey, your effort, your dreams. You see, the world is a mirror. When people see you rise, it reflects their own fears, insecurities, and limitations. It's not about them. It's about you stepping into your light. Some might wish for your fall. But remember, the higher you climb, the louder the noise of envy. And yet you must rise anyway, for yourself, for your dreams, and for the people who truly matter. It's not about proving anything to the haters. It's about living a life that's authentic, purposeful, and unstoppable. Let them hate. Let their envy fuel your motivation. Let their doubt remind you of your strength. And in the end, their discomfort is a small price to pay for the fulfillment of your destiny. Success has a unique power. It doesn't just elevate you. It unintentionally teaches others a lesson. And often the ones who hate you the most are those who secretly wish they had your courage, your focus, and your vision. So rise, shine, and live a life so extraordinary that the hate around you is drowned in the brilliance of your success. Because at the end of the day, success is not a competition. It's a reflection of your persistence, patience, and belief in yourself. When you step into the path of success, something fascinating happens. The world begins to react, and not always in the way you expect. There will be people who clap, who cheer, who genuinely rejoice at your victories. But there will also be others who frown, who whisper behind your back, who feel discomfort whenever your achievements are mentioned. And that discomfort is envy. The silent shadow that accompanies anyone daring to rise above the ordinary. It's important to understand that this is not about you. It is about them. When someone resents your success, it is never truly a measure of your abilities or your worth. It is a mirror of their own limitations, insecurities, and unfulfilled potential. Think of it this way. Envy is a natural human reaction. It arises when someone compares their own life, their own efforts, and their own results to yours and feels inadequate. It's a sign that they see what is possible, but they are unwilling or unable to take the steps to reach it. Your success becomes a silent reminder of their stagnation. And instead of feeling inspired, they react with bitterness. This is why you will sometimes encounter jealousy from people who you never imagined would care so much about your life. The moment you start excelling, the moment you step into your own light, their shadows become more visible. Let me tell you a small story. There was a student in school who always performed well in academics. She worked tirelessly, often staying up late, practicing, revising, and giving her best every day. When exam results came out, she topped the class as expected. While some classmates celebrated with her, a few became distant, some even spreading rumors. Why? Because her success highlighted their own lack of effort. Her achievements were not meant to shame them, but it was impossible for them to see it that way. This story is repeated in every sphere of life: career, business, art, and personal growth. The higher you climb, the more visible you become, and visibility brings reactions. Not always kind. It is vital to internalize that this envy says nothing about your capabilities. It does not diminish your work, your discipline, or your dedication. Instead, it shines a light on human nature. People often respond from their own limitations rather than from objective reality. Recognizing this frees you from unnecessary guilt, from the temptation to shrink your light, so others can feel comfortable. Your success is not a weapon. It is a testament to your persistence, your focus, and your courage to go where few dare to tread. The irony is beautiful. Often the people who envy you the most are secretly inspired by you. They may not admit it, they may not celebrate openly, but deep down, your achievements plant a seed of possibility in their minds. If anything, your success becomes a challenge to them, a quiet lesson of what is possible when one refuses to settle. And that in itself is a powerful reason to continue excelling without apology, without hesitation, and without fear of judgment. So the next time you encounter envy or resentment, remember this. It is a natural consequence of success, and it reflects more about the other person than it does about you. Embrace your achievements, pursue your dreams relentlessly, and let the reactions around you remain just that, reactions. Your worth, your growth, and your fulfillment are defined by your journey, not by the comfort or discomfort of others. When you rise, let the world watch, let the envious fume, and let your success speak louder than any criticism. When someone envies or criticizes your success, it can feel personal. You might think, "Oh, why can't they just be happy for me?" But the truth is far deeper than mere jealousy. It reflects their own insecurities. People who hate your achievements are often confronting a quiet struggle within themselves, a struggle you cannot see. They are wrestling with fears, doubts, self-imposed limitations, and the nagging awareness of their untapped potential. The reactions are not a judgment of your worth, but a window into their own inner battles. Think about it. Insecurity is a quiet companion that most people carry through life. It manifests in subtle ways: resentment, criticism, or even avoidance. When someone looks at your success, it mirrors their own shortcomings in stark contrast. They see what they could have achieved, what they might have been, or what they wish they had the courage to pursue. Instead of using your success as motivation, their insecurity twists it into criticism. In their minds, your success becomes a reminder of their own not enoughness, and that fear translates into negative reactions. Consider a story of two colleagues in an office. Both had similar opportunities, yet one took initiative, worked late, innovated, and gradually earned recognition. The other, despite being capable, avoided risk, feared failure, and constantly questioned their abilities. When the successful colleague was promoted, the insecure colleague began to criticize, undermine, and even gossip. Their resentment was not about fairness or ability. It was about their own fear of not being enough, a fear they had never confronted. It is a pattern repeated across life. People who attack success are often those battling unacknowledged insecurities. The beauty of understanding this is liberating. Once you see that hate is not personal, you free yourself from unnecessary guilt or self-doubt. You realize that their negativity is a reflection of their inner struggle, not a commentary on your talent or hard work. You can maintain your focus without being distracted by their attempts to dim your light. In fact, recognizing insecurity in others cultivates empathy. You start seeing that even the harshest critics are struggling with their own limitations, and the reactions, as sharp as they seem, are cries for courage they have not yet found within themselves. Another important point is that insecurity often stems from fear of judgment, fear of failure, and fear of change. When people see you succeed, it challenges their comfort zone. Your progress becomes a mirror reflecting the risk they have avoided, the dreams they have postponed, and the potential they have ignored. It's natural for them to respond with discomfort or even hostility, because facing someone else's courage forces them to confront their own fears. Understanding this allows you to rise above petty criticism. Your path is not about changing them. It's about nurturing your own growth, your own courage, and your own self-belief. When you focus on your journey, the negativity from insecure people becomes irrelevant, like white noise in the background. You begin to appreciate that success is not just personal triumph. It is also an indirect inspiration. By pursuing your potential, you silently encourage others to confront their insecurities, whether they admit it or not. So the next time someone reacts with hate or envy toward your achievements, remember, it is a reflection of their inner fears, not a judgment of your worth. They are battling shadows that you cannot carry for them. Your role is not to dim your light for their comfort, but to shine brighter, to pursue your dreams relentlessly, and to let your example gently challenge them to rise above their insecurities. In doing so, you embrace the truth that your success is your responsibility. Their reaction is theirs, and the power to transform lives, yours and indirectly theirs, lies in your courage to grow. Life has a curious way of teaching us a simple yet profound lesson. Your journey is yours and yours alone. The moment you decide to pursue your dreams, embark on a path of growth, or chase success, you step into a space where comparison and judgment become inevitable. People will have opinions, some will support you, and some will doubt or criticize. But here is the truth. Your journey is personal, and no one else's perspective can define your worth or your potential. Every step you take, every sacrifice you make, every challenge you overcome belongs solely to you. Consider the story of a young artist who decided to follow her passion despite the warnings of family and friends. Some thought her choices were reckless, some criticized her technique, and a few even laughed at her dreams. Yet she focused on her canvas, her craft, and her improvement. She did not ask for approval. She did not measure her success by the applause of others. Years later, her work was celebrated worldwide. The criticism and judgment she faced along the way were temporary, irrelevant distractions compared to the fulfillment she gained from honoring her own path. The lesson is clear: when you allow your focus to shift toward what others think, you dilute your energy and cloud your vision. Your growth becomes dependent on external validation, which is fragile and fleeting. People's opinions are shaped by their own experiences, biases, and limitations. They are not equipped to measure your potential or appreciate the uniqueness of your journey. Your path, your dreams, and your efforts are personal, and only you can truly understand their value. This idea also applies to everyday decisions. Whether it's advancing in your career, starting a business, pursuing education, or dedicating time to personal development, you will encounter voices that question your choices. Is this too ambitious? Why are you doing this? Or what if you fail? Such questions often reflect the speaker's fears rather than objective reality. Focusing on their judgment is a distraction from your purpose. The moment you internalize that your growth is personal, you begin to protect your energy, your focus, and your commitment to your goals. There is also a deeper wisdom here. Your journey is shaped not just by outcomes, but by your consistent effort, resilience, and learning along the way. Success is not a trophy to be displayed for others. It is a reflection of your perseverance, your discipline, and your ability to rise after setbacks. When you honor your journey, you honor yourself. You create a life where fulfillment comes from within, not from applause or acceptance. Another powerful insight is that personal growth often requires solitude and courage. Not everyone will understand your choices, and many may resist or judge your progress. But remember, growth is never a social obligation. It is an intimate process that tests your patience, your focus, and your determination. By prioritizing your journey over external judgment, cultivate resilience. You learn to trust your instincts, make decisions aligned with your values, and pursue your vision unapologetically. Ultimately, understanding that your journey is personal allows you to live authentically. It frees you from the burden of comparison, criticism, and expectation. It reminds you that success is measured by your growth, not by anyone else's approval. Every step, every effort, and every victory belongs to you alone. And when you embrace this truth, the opinions of others become irrelevant, envy loses its power, and you can move forward with clarity, confidence, and unwavering focus on your own path. Thought life has a way of testing our resolve in unexpected ways, often through the negativity or criticism of others. When you achieve something meaningful, when you step forward courageously into your dreams, there will always be voices that try to pull you back, voices that question your ability, doubt your choices, or even resent your success. The natural reaction for many is to feel hurt, discouraged, or frustrated. But here's a transformative idea. Instead of allowing hate or criticism to weigh you down, let it fuel your motivation. Let negativity become the wind beneath your wings rather than the stone in your shoes. Imagine the story of a young athlete preparing for a championship. Coaches doubted his potential, competitors mocked his techniques, and even some teammates questioned his commitment. Every time he heard the criticism, he could have given up, allowed the negativity to cloud his confidence. Instead, he made a choice. He would use their doubts as a source of energy. Every sneer became a challenge, every criticism a reminder to work harder. He trained with more focus, practiced with more intensity, and refined his skills until he could no longer be ignored. But eventually, he not only competed but won, not in spite of the hate, but because he allowed it to fuel his motivation. The beauty of this approach is that it shifts the power dynamic. When others try to bring you down with envy or resentment, they are giving you energy. You just have to decide how to use it. You can choose to internalize negativity and let it weaken you, or you can channel it into focus, discipline, and determination. Every negative comment becomes a spark to remind you why you started, what you're capable of, and how much further you can go. Haters and critics unintentionally become allies in your journey, providing the fuel that keeps you moving when the road is tough. This principle is not limited to extraordinary circumstances. It applies to everyday life. Whether it's criticism at work, envy from peers, or even subtle dismissals from friends and family, these situations can either derail you or empower you. The key is perspective. Recognize that their negativity is not a judgment of your abilities. but a reflection of their own limitations or fears. Once you accept that, you can take control and use it to your advantage. Turn every doubt into determination, every insult into inspiration, and every negative energy into momentum. There's also a deeper lesson in resilience. Using hate as motivation strengthens not just your skills, but your mindset. It teaches you to rise above pettiness, focus on your own path, and transform challenges into opportunities. It's a form of emotional alchemy, taking something that is meant to hurt you and converting it into a force that propels you forward. Those who master this skill develop an inner strength that no criticism can shake, a calm confidence that persists regardless of external opinions. Ultimately, letting hate fuel motivation is about reclaiming your power. Instead of being a passive target of negativity, you actively transform it into a driving force. It is proof that your success is unstoppable, not because the world approves, but because your focus, determination, and resilience are greater than any external resistance. And in doing so, you not only achieve your goals, you send a quiet message. Your growth, your progress, and your dreams cannot be hindered by envy, hate, or doubt. Doubt of the greatest obstacles to success is the invisible chain of approval. From a young age, we are conditioned to seek validation. Praise from parents, recognition from teachers, approval from friends, and admiration from society. While encouragement is helpful, the habit of chasing approval can become a trap. It makes your sense of self-worth dependent on others' opinions, and the moment their recognition falters, so does your confidence. True success, however, is self-approved and self-earned. It is a quiet, unwavering satisfaction that comes from knowing you gave your best, regardless of who notices. Think of an entrepreneur who spent years building a small business. In the beginning, few people believed in her vision. Friends questioned her choices, family expressed doubt, and competitors laughed at her ambition. If she had waited for approval, she would have abandoned her dreams long ago. But she didn't. She focused on her work, her values, and her commitment to her goals. Every milestone she achieved was a personal victory, a confirmation that she was moving in the right direction. The external world eventually recognized her success, but that recognition was a bonus. It did not define her journey. Seeking approval is dangerous because it shifts your energy from growth to performance. When you are constantly worried about what others think, you make decisions to please them rather than to follow your vision. You compromise your values, limit your creativity, and slow your progress. Approval is fleeting. It can vanish overnight based on someone's mood, biases, or misunderstanding. True fulfillment, on the other hand, comes from knowing that your effort, dedication, and integrity are aligned with your own standards, not someone else's. Consider the story of a musician who wanted to create something authentic rather than following popular trends. At first, many critics mocked his style, claiming it would never succeed. He could have given up, chasing approval from the mainstream. Instead, he stayed true to his art, pouring his heart and soul into every composition. Slowly, people began to notice not because he sought their praise, but because his authenticity resonated with those who valued genuine creativity. The lesson is clear. When you seek approval, you follow others. When you trust yourself, you lead. Another powerful insight is that self-approval fosters courage. It allows you to take risks, embrace failure, and learn without the constant fear of judgment. You become resilient because your confidence is rooted internally rather than externally. Haters, critics, or indifferent observers lose their power over you. You develop a quiet strength that keeps you moving forward even when the world doubts, ignores, or misunderstands your efforts. Ultimately, the pursuit of external validation is a distraction from the work that truly matters. Your personal growth, your skills, and your contribution. Every step you take toward your goals is meaningful, regardless of recognition. By approving yourself, you create a life driven by purpose and integrity, rather than the fleeting opinions of others. You become unstoppable because your energy is invested in progress, not praise. So let go of the need for approval. Trust in your abilities, honor your efforts, and celebrate your milestones internally. True success is not measured by the applause of the crowd, but by the quiet satisfaction of knowing you have given your best. When you reach this state, every challenge becomes an opportunity, every criticism becomes inconsequential, and every achievement becomes deeply fulfilling. Self-approval is not arrogance. It is clarity, freedom, and the foundation of lasting success. One of the quietest yet most destructive forces in life is comparison. From a young age, we are conditioned to measure ourselves against others, grades, achievements, social status, wealth, even appearances. In the age of social media, this comparison has become constant and inescapable. We see the curated successes of others and begin to question our own worth, progress, or potential. But here is a profound truth. Your journey is unique. Comparing yourself to others or worrying about their opinions only slows you down and diminishes the joy of your personal growth. And think of life as a garden. Every plant grows at its own pace. Some bloom quickly, some slowly, some appear fragile before blossoming beautifully. You cannot force a rose to grow like a sunflower, nor can you expect a cactus to bloom in the same way as a lily. Similarly, your path, your talents, and your timing are distinct. When you constantly look at others and wonder why they are ahead, you lose sight of your own growth. You forget to nurture your own garden, tending instead to the success of someone else. The result is frustration, self-doubt, and wasted energy. Consider the story of two writers. One seemed to publish best-selling novels early in life, gaining fame and recognition quickly. The other struggled with rejection after rejection after rejection, feeling disheartened and questioning his own ability. If the second writer had let comparison dominate his thoughts, he might have given up entirely. Instead, he chose to focus on his own craft, improving every day, learning from failures and embracing his unique voice. Years later, his novels found their audience, touching hearts deeply and enduringly. The key difference was not talent alone. It was the ability to rise above comparison and trust in his personal journey. Comparison also fuels unnecessary worry about others' opinions. We often make choices to match societal expectations or to impress people rather than following what truly resonates with us. We might pursue careers, relationships, or lifestyles that are not aligned with our passions simply because someone else seems to have mastered theirs. This creates a cycle of dissatisfaction where success is always measured externally, leaving internal fulfillment perpetually out of reach. Your life cannot be lived through someone else's lens. The moment you embrace the uniqueness of your path, you reclaim your freedom to pursue your own dreams without distraction or doubt. There is also a deeper lesson here. Comparison diminishes gratitude. When you focus on what others have achieved, you forget to appreciate your own growth, your own struggles, and the victories you have earned. Gratitude is a catalyst for motivation. It fuels confidence, resilience, and creativity. By comparing yourself to others, you deny yourself the joy of celebrating your own journey, robbing yourself of the very energy needed to continue progressing. Rising above comparison requires courage and self-awareness. It requires the mindset to say, I will not measure my worth against someone else's life. I will focus on my growth, my purpose, and my contributions. When you adopt this mindset, external noise, criticism, envy, judgment loses its power. You begin to channel your energy where it truly matters, into your dreams, your learning, and your consistent efforts. Comparison fades and clarity emerges. Ultimately, the most successful, fulfilled, and impactful people are those who rise above comparison. They recognize their unique path, honor their own timing, and measure success by their personal progress, not by the achievements of others. When you do the same, you unlock your potential fully, live authentically, and move with confidence. Your journey is yours alone, and the sooner you embrace it, the faster you will rise to the life you are capable of creating. Success has a subtle, almost magical way of teaching lessons without ever speaking a word. When you achieve something meaningful, it doesn't just transform your life. It creates ripples that others may feel, even if they never openly acknowledge it. Your achievements, your growth, and your courage to pursue your dreams silently inspire and challenge those around you to raise their own standards. This is the quiet power of success. It teaches indirectly, often without confrontation, persuasion, or explanation. Imagine a student in school who worked diligently to excel in her studies. She didn't boast, she didn't seek recognition, and she certainly didn't try to make anyone feel inferior. Yet, her consistent effort and dedication inspired her peers. Some began to study harder, some adopted better habits, and others quietly reflected on their own approach to learning. Her success became a living example, a silent lesson in discipline, resilience, and focus. The beauty of this is that the lesson is absorbed willingly, without pressure, because it is demonstrated through action, not words. This principle applies in every area of life. When an artist commits to perfecting their craft, their dedication challenges other artists to improve. When an entrepreneur builds a business with integrity and excellence, their example pushes peers to innovate and strive harder. When a person prioritizes personal growth, health, or emotional intelligence, their life becomes a model for others to reflect upon. Success, when authentic, does not need to be proclaimed. It speaks through the consistency of action, the results of effort, and the transformation of character. The silent teaching of success also carries a deeper truth. It often provokes introspection in others. People may feel envy or discomfort at first, but these emotions are frequently a reflection of their own unfulfilled potential. Your achievements act as a mirror, showing what is possible when one commits wholeheartedly to their goals. Even those who initially resist or criticize are, in subtle ways, learning from you. The lesson may take time to manifest, but the seed has been planted. Effort, dedication, and focus yield results, and success is achievable through persistence. Consider the story of a young professional who was promoted rapidly due to consistent hard work, integrity, and a willingness to take initiative. Colleagues who initially felt jealous or critical soon found themselves reevaluating their own habits and work ethic. They didn't need to hear lectures or advice. The example itself was compelling. Without trying, the successful professional became a teacher, proving that dedication and excellence are far more effective than words in inspiring growth. This indirect teaching is powerful because it is authentic. Lessons that are demonstrated through success are more memorable and influential than advice alone. People are naturally drawn to results. They notice what works, they see the outcomes, and they understand what it takes to achieve them. By simply pursuing your goals with integrity and commitment, you influence others, challenge their limitations, and elevate the standard of what is possible in their own lives. Ultimately, understanding that success teaches indirectly allows you to approach life with humility and purpose. You don't need to boast, argue, or convince anyone. By striving for excellence and staying committed to your path, your actions become a living example that quietly shapes the world around you. The inspiration you create is a gift, even to those who may initially resent or doubt you. Your journey becomes a lesson in courage, discipline, and possibility, a teaching that does not require words, applause, or acknowledgement to make an impact. That in life, one of the greatest lessons is that persistence always outweighs perception. People will often judge your actions, doubt your abilities, or criticize your choices before they can see the results of your efforts. This is natural. Short-term perception is fleeting, biased, and often misinformed. What matters most, however, is not how others see you in a moment of struggle or effort, but how consistent you remain in pursuing your goals. Long-term results, built steadily over time, carry far more weight and lasting impact than any temporary judgment or opinion. Consider the story of an inventor working tirelessly in a small, dimly lit workshop. Neighbors and acquaintances laughed at his strange experiments and unusual ideas. They couldn't see the vision he had, nor the possibilities he imagined. In their perception, he was wasting his time. Yet the inventor didn't let the judgment stop him. Day after day, year after year, types tested his theories and learned from every failure. Eventually, his persistence paid off, and his invention transformed industries and improved countless lives. The short-term perception of others had no bearing on his success. What mattered was the unwavering dedication to his vision. Persistence is especially powerful because it cultivates resilience. Every small effort, every late night, every minor improvement compounds over time. While others focus on immediate outcomes or appearances, you are building a foundation for sustainable growth. In the journey of success, progress is often invisible to the casual observer. It may appear slow, insignificant, or even unworthy in the eyes of critics. Yet those who persist quietly, consistently, and faithfully often achieve results far beyond what anyone expected. The danger of caring too much about perception is that it diverts your energy from what truly matters. When you are constantly trying to impress others or seeking approval, your actions become performative rather than productive. You start measuring your worth by temporary applause, praise, or recognition instead of by meaningful progress. Persistence, on the other hand, teaches you to stay committed regardless of external opinion. It trains your mind to value effort, patience, and consistency over the fleeting approval of others. Think about athletes, artists, entrepreneurs, and leaders. Many face doubt, ridicule, or rejection early in their careers. The world's perception may have labeled them as failures, outsiders, or unworthy. But their secret was not talent alone, it was persistence. They continued to refine their craft, learn from mistakes, and stay true to their goals. Over time, results accumulated, and the initial judgment of others became irrelevant. Success is not about winning the applause of the present, it is about creating results that stand the test of time. Persistence also fosters self-trust. When you commit to consistent action, you learn to rely on your abilities, judgment, and discipline rather than the fluctuating opinions of others. You develop a deep sense of confidence that comes not from perception, but from experience. Every small achievement reinforces your capability, making it easier to stay focused and motivated even when immediate validation is absent. Ultimately, persistence over perception is a mindset of long-term vision and inner focus. It encourages you to work diligently, face setbacks with courage, and ignore the temporary doubts of those around you. The opinions of others are fleeting. The results of your consistent effort are lasting. By valuing persistence, you create a life where progress is measured by dedication, growth, and tangible outcomes rather than by fleeting approval. When you master this approach, you achieve not just success, but a quiet confidence that no criticism or short-term judgment can ever shake. One of the most liberating realizations on the path to success is this: haters cannot stop you unless you allow them to. Envy, criticism, and negativity are only powerful when you give them space in your mind, when you allow their words, attitudes, or judgments to influence your emotions and decisions. The moment you choose to focus on your purpose, your goals, and your growth, the opinions of others lose their hold. Your mind becomes a shield, protecting you from the storm of negativity that surrounds those who wish you ill. Consider the story of a young professional who launched a bold initiative at work. Colleagues doubted her abilities, competitors mocked her vision, and some even tried to sabotage her progress. Each day, she faced whispers of criticism and judgment. Many would have crumbled under the weight of such negativity, allowing it to erode their confidence. But she chose a different path. She refused to give the haters power over mindset. Instead of reacting to envy or criticism, she focused on delivering her best work, learning from setbacks, and consistently moving forward. Her focus became her shield, her persistence her armor, and eventually she succeeded far beyond anyone's expectations. The truth is, negativity only has influence if you feed it with attention, worry, or self-doubt. People may envy your success, criticize your methods, or question your decisions, but these reactions are about them, not you. They reveal fear, insecurity, or unfulfilled potential in others. Recognizing this allows you to detach emotionally from criticism and focus your energy where it truly matters, on growth, progress, and action. Your time and energy are too valuable to be spent trying to control the perceptions of others. Haters can also serve a hidden purpose. When you encounter criticism or envy, it is often a mirror reflecting your progress. Someone only criticizes what they notice. They only envy what they see as a threat to their comfort. In this way, negativity can act as a signpost, quietly highlighting that you are on the right track, doing something meaningful enough to provoke a reaction. The difference is that successful individuals do not fight the haters. They continue their work with calm focus, allowing the results to speak louder than any criticism. Focus is the ultimate weapon against negativity. By keeping your attention on your goals, your growth, and your purpose, you create an internal environment that haters cannot penetrate. Meditation, self-reflection, and disciplined routines strengthen this focus, creating a mental fortress that protects your confidence and determination. Once your mind becomes impenetrable to external doubt, criticism becomes irrelevant noise, and envy loses its sting. Ultimately, haters cannot stop you because your life is yours to shape. Your dreams, efforts, and actions are not subject to the approval of others. Every time you choose focus over reaction, action over distraction, and growth over fear, you reinforce your resilience and power. The envy of others can linger, the criticism can continue, but it is powerless against someone who refuses to let it enter their mind. Your focus is your freedom, your shield, and your most effective response to anyone who doubts or resents you. When you internalize this principle, you rise above the petty judgments of the world. You move forward with clarity, energy, and confidence, unstoppable in your pursuit of your goals. Haters, critics, and envy are mere background noise in the symphony of your life. Your focus ensures that your path remains clear, your progress remains uninterrupted, and your success remains inevitable. One of the most powerful truths in life is that authentic living is the cornerstone of true success. Too often, people try to shape themselves to fit others' expectations, to conform to societal pressures, or to appease those who doubt them. But the moment you commit to living authentically, being true to your purpose, values, and passions, you step into a power that is unmatched. Living authentically is not about seeking revenge or hurting those who resent you. It is about honoring yourself, your journey, and the dreams you were meant to pursue. When you do this consistently, respect naturally follows, even from those who initially doubted or envied you. Consider the story of a young entrepreneur who decided to start a business in a field she was passionate about. Despite skepticism from friends and family, people told her it was risky, that she should settle for a safer job, and that she would fail. Many of them even ridiculed her ideas, attempting to dissuade her from pursuing her vision. Yet, she chose to live authentically, staying aligned with her values and committed to her purpose. She focused on learning, growing, and delivering value rather than trying to satisfy the opinions of others. Over time, her business flourished, not just financially, but as a force of impact and inspiration. Those who had doubted her eventually recognized her integrity and determination, and even those who remained envious could not ignore the authenticity that fueled her success. Living authentically has a unique power because it removes the need for constant validation. When you are aligned with your purpose, you no longer rely on others' approval to define your worth. You act from a place of clarity and conviction, making decisions that resonate with your values rather than reacting to societal pressures. This internal alignment creates confidence, resilience, and a sense of peace that cannot be shaken by criticism or envy. People may resent your success, but they cannot undermine your authenticity. It is unshakable, grounded in who you are and what you stand for. Authenticity also inspires others indirectly. When people see someone living true to themselves, pursuing their dreams with integrity, and achieving results without compromising values, it challenges them to reflect on their own lives. Your life becomes a silent example of courage and purpose, teaching others the importance of self-respect and commitment. This influence often extends beyond admiration. Sometimes it stirs envy, but even envy is powerless against someone who is deeply aligned with their purpose. Another lesson in authentic living is that it transforms relationships. When you are true to yourself, you attract people who resonate with your energy and values, and you naturally distance yourself from toxic influences. Your focus becomes sharper, your energy more abundant, and your progress more consistent. You no longer waste time trying to please everyone or justify your choices. Instead, your life becomes a reflection of your inner truth, radiating clarity, confidence, and purpose. Ultimately, living authentically ensures that your success is sustainable and meaningful. It is not built on the fleeting opinions of others, but on the foundation of your values, effort, and purpose. Even those who secretly resent you cannot shake the respect that comes from consistent integrity and unwavering authenticity. By staying true to yourself, you create a life that is not only successful, but deeply fulfilling, inspiring, and impactful. When you embrace this principle, you rise above envy, criticism, and societal expectations. You walk a path that is uniquely yours, commanding respect through authenticity, dedication, and purpose. Success, when rooted in truth, becomes unstoppable, and the life you build becomes a testament to the power of being unapologetically yourself. One of the most overlooked truths about success is that it thrives on focus and falters in distraction. In any environment, whether school, workplace, or social circles, there will always be chatter, gossip, and unsolicited opinions. People talk. They speculate, criticize, and sometimes even try to undermine your progress. The key to extraordinary growth is learning to ignore this noise and redirect your attention to something far more valuable, your own development. Focusing on your growth rather than engaging in gossip ensures that your energy is spent building your potential, not feeding the negativity around you. Consider the story of a young professional in a corporate office. Every day, she noticed colleagues gossiping about promotions, judging each other's decisions, and criticizing those who dared to stand out. She could have joined the chatter, let it distract her, or allowed it to affect her confidence. But she made a conscious choice. She would focus on her own skills, her projects, and her growth. While others spent hours speculating or comparing, she dedicated that same energy to learning new skills, networking meaningfully, and delivering results. Over time, her progress became undeniable. Her focus and dedication elevated her career in ways that gossip could never achieve. Gossip and negativity are contagious, and they have a way of pulling you off course if you let them. When you spend time thinking about what others are saying, you invest energy in something that produces no tangible results. It becomes a drain on creativity, confidence, and motivation. Focusing on growth, on the other hand, compounds your skills, knowledge, and opportunities. Every hour you invest in improving yourself is an hour that builds momentum toward your goals, while every hour spent on gossip only reinforces stagnation and doubt. There is also a deeper lesson here. By ignoring gossip, you cultivate emotional intelligence and self-discipline. You learn to distinguish between what is worth your attention and what is mere noise. This is crucial because the world will never stop talking. People will always judge, compare, or criticize. Success comes not from silencing their voices, but from choosing not to let those voices shape your emotions, decisions, or self-image. By focusing on growth, you become resilient, centered, and empowered. Qualities that gossip can never take away. Another story illustrates this beautifully. A young athlete in a competitive sports team faced constant criticism from peers who doubted her potential. Instead of engaging in arguments or defending herself, she poured her energy into training harder, refining her techniques, and improving her mental strength. Over time, her dedication paid off. She became one of the top players, respected not for her words, but for her consistent results. By focusing on growth rather than gossip, she transformed negativity into a silent motivation, proving that action speaks louder than commentary. Focusing on growth also encourages a forward-looking mindset. Gossip keeps you rooted in judgment, resentment, or comparison, which are backward-looking and limiting. Growth, on the other hand, propels you forward, emphasizing progress, learning, and the possibilities of what you can become. Every skill you acquire, every habit you improve, every milestone you achieve reinforces your self-worth and independence from the opinions of others. Ultimately, the choice is yours. You can let gossip consume your thoughts, dictate your actions, and drain your energy. Or you can rise above it, dedicate yourself to improvement, and make your success a testament to focus and perseverance. Growth, unlike gossip, compounds over time. It elevates, empowers, and transforms. By directing your attention inward toward your own development, you create a life that is productive, fulfilling, and unstoppable. Regardless of the chatter around you, life is filled with challenges. Some are small inconveniences, while others feel overwhelming, shaking the very foundation of our confidence and resolve. Yet, the secret to true success lies not in avoiding challenges, but in transforming them into opportunities. Every obstacle you encounter carries a hidden lesson, a chance to grow, and a way to strengthen your character. It is in these moments of difficulty that the seeds of greatness are sown, waiting for those willing to embrace them rather than fear them. Consider the story of a young entrepreneur who launched a small startup. In the early days, she faced repeated failures. A product launch went wrong, investors withdrew support, and critical partnerships fell through. Each setback could have discouraged her, causing her to abandon her dream. Yet she chose to see these challenges differently. Instead of viewing failure as an endpoint, she treated it as feedback, a roadmap highlighting what needed improvement. Every obstacle became a lesson in strategy, resilience, and innovation. Over time, these challenges refined her skills, strengthened her determination, and positioned her business for long-term success. Challenges are powerful teachers because they push you beyond your comfort zone. Growth rarely happens when life is easy or predictable. It is in the struggle, in the moments when resources are scarce and the outcome uncertain, that you discover the depth of your capabilities. When faced with an obstacle, you are forced to think creatively, make tough decisions, and cultivate patience. and cultivate patience. These experiences build resilience, grit, and wisdom, qualities that cannot be learned from comfort or convenience alone. There is also a mindset shift involved. Many people perceive challenges as setbacks, threats, or reasons to give up. But those who achieve greatness see them as opportunities in disguise. Every problem solved, every difficulty navigated, and every failure endured adds to your arsenal of experience and confidence. When you embrace challenges, you transform fear into fuel, doubt into determination, and difficulty into a stepping stone toward your goals. Consider an athlete training for a major competition. Injuries, losses, and setbacks are inevitable parts of the journey. Yet each obstacle teaches lessons about strength, strategy, and mental endurance. Athletes who embrace these challenges grow not only physically but also emotionally and mentally. They learn to manage pressure, maintain focus, and adapt in ways that ensure long-term success. Challenges, in essence, become allies rather than enemies. Another vital lesson is that challenges build character. How you respond to obstacles defines who you are more than any success could. A person who meets adversity with courage, patience, and perseverance develops qualities that shine even brighter than talent or skill. These qualities inspire others, attract opportunities, and form the foundation for lasting achievement. The challenges you overcome today become stories of resilience tomorrow, creating a legacy of strength and integrity. Ultimately, turning challenges into opportunities is about perspective and action. It requires seeing every difficulty not as a barrier, but as a chance to improve, adapt, and rise stronger. Life will inevitably throw obstacles in your path, but your response determines whether they become stumbling blocks or stepping stones. By embracing challenges as opportunities, you transform every setback into a lesson, every failure into growth, and every difficulty into a powerful catalyst for personal and professional success. When you adopt this mindset, challenges lose their power to intimidate, and instead they become integral parts of your journey, shaping your skills, character, and resilience. The obstacles you face are not there to stop you. They are there to prepare you, strengthen you, and guide you toward the life you are capable of creating. Every challenge becomes an opportunity, and every opportunity strengthens the foundation of your success. One of the most remarkable truths about success is that it commands respect without the need to demand it. Respect is not something you can force through words, titles, or status. It is earned through consistent action, dedication, and authenticity. When you stay true to your purpose, work diligently toward your goals, and achieve meaningful results, respect follows naturally. Even those who may initially resent you cannot ignore the integrity and effort that underpin your success. Consider the story of a teacher in a small community school. She began her career with limited resources and faced skepticism from both colleagues and parents. Many doubted her methods, and some even criticized her ideas openly. However, she committed herself to her purpose, to provide quality education and inspire her students. Day after day, she prepared innovative lessons, supported struggling learners, and went beyond her job description to ensure her students thrived. Slowly, her consistent effort produced remarkable results. Students excelled, parents noticed, and even those who once doubted her methods began to admire her dedication. Respect was not demanded. It was earned naturally through perseverance and purpose. The beauty of this principle is that rooted in action is far more powerful than respect gained through appearances. Titles, material wealth, or influence can command attention temporarily, but they cannot cultivate genuine admiration or trust. A true respect comes when people witness the alignment between your words, actions, and values over time. It is earned by those who remain steadfast, work diligently, and pursue their goals with authenticity. When your life reflects integrity and consistency, respect becomes an inevitable consequence. Even those who feel envy or resentment toward your success are affected. Initially, they may dismiss your achievements or belittle your efforts. But over time, the undeniable results you produce cannot be ignored. Consistency, focus, and excellence communicate a truth that words cannot. Your success is legitimate, grounded, and deserved. Envy and criticism may linger, but they lose the power to diminish your accomplishments or your confidence. By staying true to your purpose, you create a life where respect is a natural byproduct, independent of approval or validation from others. There is also a deeper lesson here. Respect earned through success inspires and influences others indirectly. When people see someone achieve while staying authentic, they are motivated to reflect on their own habits, values, and efforts. This form of influence is quiet yet profound. It shapes perceptions, encourages growth, and elevates standards, all without confrontation or persuasion. Your life becomes a model demonstrating that integrity, consistency, and dedication are the foundations of lasting respect. Another important insight is that authentic success fosters self-respect. When you honor your purpose, put in the effort, and pursue meaningful goals, you cultivate a confidence that is unshakable. This inner respect radiates outward and becomes evident to others. People are drawn to authenticity and dedication, and they naturally respond with admiration, trust, and respect, even when they might secretly wish they had the same courage or focus. Ultimately, understanding that success commands respect naturally empowers you to focus on what truly matters: your purpose, growth, and contributions. You do not need to seek validation, argue for acknowledgement, or prove yourself to anyone. By staying committed to your journey and achieving consistently, respect follows on its own, quietly and powerfully. Even those who resent you cannot diminish the results of your effort or the integrity of your path. When you live with authenticity, purpose, and dedication, respect becomes inevitable. It is not imposed or demanded. It is earned through action, consistency, and unwavering focus. Your life itself becomes a testament to the fact that true success is inseparable from respect, and that anyone committed to growth, excellence, and purpose will always be recognized for the value they create.